So the one thing I try to do is to check myself. And what do I mean? Try not to be arrogant. I try to be trying to be humble. And they say some say that if you are in the struggle, like if you are in the struggle, don't act don't act humble, act proud, act arrogant. It's like, but when you do got all the money and the wealth and the fame and the power or whatever, right? Then you humble yourself. You act humble. But when you're not, you act cocky and like, if you get what I'm saying. I forget. There's an actual phrase, that I can't remember, but it implies the same thing. And so, and just now I was trying to check myself. These guys came over here to purchase a shelf, or this man did with his 16-year-old son. Had him taking parts of it apart, and they partially disassembled it so that they could fit it into their small SUV. And this is one of those examples where I just willfully, consciously asked myself, am I really the ignorant one or the stupid one? And so that's what I mean. I check myself. Am I? So before they started loading it into the car, I was going to see how they would think about loading it into the car. Now I'm aware some people have good spatial awareness, like a high spatial IQ. I really do. I have a high spatial IQ. Even when I was in industrial tech in high school, my teacher was like, "Wow," it was like, I just remember him looking at this test I did on basically a spatial awareness test, and he was like, it's pretty impressive. And so I'm just saying that I'm aware that that's one of my natural, gifts is spatial awareness and IQ, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I can three-dimensionally visualize things. So my mind plays Tetris really good. Like if I'm loading a moving truck, like I know my mind already knows where to put what for optimum, space saving and stuff. And so I just now I was trying to be aware of that. Okay, most other humans don't. It's hard for me to grasp. I'm aware of it, but I'm also, there's a part of me that just, and I imagine this is with anybody that's good at something. It's probably hard for them to imagine not being good at it, unless it was something that they had to learn over time and they remember when they were not good at it. But I check myself, and I always talk about how there's been times where I've been at blue collar jobs and an assignment is given, a task is given, and then sit there and watch 8 to 10 guys stand around trying to figure it out, which made me cynical as heck, because it's like my brain has already figured it out. I'm standing there, and here's the thing. I'm the poor guy. At all the jobs I've ever been at, I've always been the one with the least money, the least social status, the least, and when you're at that level, the majority of the time it's already assumed that you're the dumb fuck. And I learned a long time ago, if you're in that position and you're actually smarter than everybody else, at the risk of sounding arrogant, right? If you're smart, then the best thing to do is not to utilize your intelligence. The best thing to do, either way, it sucks. But the best thing to do is to just play the part of the idiot. Just be the moron that everybody thinks you are. Because if you're outnumbered and overpowered, all being intelligent, even if it helps resolve the problem, all being intelligent does is just make it worse for you. It's better to be the stupid one and sitting there and scratching your head along with them, pretending like you don't know what's up. So I watched these guys just now, and I wanted to check myself and see, am I just... I've caught some people doing this where they think too highly. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I've had to check my son a few times and tell him, look, well, you're acting like you know this, but you really don't. You're acting like you know this, but you really don't. And I figure, he'll learn. And I check myself, am I just being over the top thinking that I'm good at something, like Dunning-Kruger effect, like I'm thinking that I'm good at something when in reality I'm probably gonna suck at it, right? And I wanted to... Oh man, that car was hidden. I was about to pull in. Jeez. Anyways, my bad. So yeah. So I asked myself, okay, is that cockiness, is that proud arrogance coming on when I was with these guys? I was like, I didn't want to be that way, right? I didn't want to be that way. And so I checked myself to make sure I wasn't thinking too highly of myself and open to the idea and being aware that perhaps I could be wrong. That's the way I'm thinking. Like, I want to be open and aware to the fact that I could be the one in the wrong, right? And so I try to humble myself. Well, it's probably not a good thing in my position in life. So I just decided I'm going to be objective. I'm just going to be neutral and objective. Like, okay. And I want to see if these guys figure out how to take these shelves. They're metal shelves with like wood paneling. And I wanted to see, like, could they figure it out? Like, how to properly or to most optimally, put them in and adjust them and how long it takes, right? And I watched them sit there using tape measures, right? He went over, pulled out the tape measures, they're measuring the size of the shelves and then going to the car measuring it, and that is justifiable. That makes sense. You measure just to see if it's big enough to fit in. But they were really overly doing it. They in their heads, they were making it really more complicated than what it really was. And at times it's just easier to pick something up, especially if it's very light, like those shelves, and just see if it fits first. All these measurements and stuff, it was just, in my mind, I was like, this is way too overcomplicating it. And so finally they get the stuff partially in, and I'm thinking to myself, nope, not gonna work, because they're gonna try to put the stuff in the back, stuff parts of the shelf in the back, and then try to take the last big piece and shove it in the side doors, and there's a big open space. It's hard to explain towards the front, and that big chunk isn't going to fit through one of the side doors. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I know this, but I'm not going to say nothing to them. Like, this task could be resolved within seconds, like 30 seconds. And I waited, and this took them a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes just to figure out how to, and it was 4 pieces. Like, they broke down the shelf into 4 pieces, and it took them like a good 25 minutes probably, and then a good 10 minutes to 25 total, and then to put that last piece in, it took like about 10 minutes. And I waited, and then finally, in a polite way, I stepped in and I was like, hey, I think that if you take these out, then what you can do, you can if you take these shelves out, then you can take sorry, I got distracted. I seen this dude that I know, and I really don't want to talk to him because I like him, but he's my culture, right? I like it's I feel bad saying it, but he's my culture, and you know, he grew up where I'm from. He, like everybody, like I was saying in another video, everybody just adapts and does what everybody else does, and talks like everybody else does, acts like everybody else does, and everybody, like I said in another video, everybody thinks I'm like, you know, they see how I act, they see how I talk, they think I'm weak, and I mentioned that maybe in one of the last videos I uploaded, the last 30 with the old truck breaking down. One time, you know, so people think I'm weak and stuff. One time, that dude, he was a bouncer. Okay, this dude I'm talking about that I just seen, he was a bouncer at one point, and he's a big guy, and they call him Tank, right? And one time I was at my friend's house, and he was over there at this pool thing, and I don't even know why, but like, you know, he started getting he got angry at some, I don't know what it was. I mean, I just don't think honestly, I know I didn't do nothing wrong, but for some reason he wanted to suggest throwing hands, and I was like, okay then, let's do it. And I was ready to tumble. I was ready to rough and tumble myself. And then he backed down. Okay, so because I will throw hands. Okay, so anyways, we don't have bad blood, but low key in my mind, I'm thinking he may always have remembered that day. When I see him, like, he might. I know this sounds weird, like I just don't like to think about it. I seen this dude. Anyways, I seen this dude a long time ago when my mom was in the trailer park, and he was a guy I beat up in school. He tried to bully me, right? He thought it was funny. He thought he could, you know, one day I beat the shit out of him, right? And so, and it was an awkward encounter because he's like, "Do you remember me?" And I'm like, you know, I didn't want to talk to him. I mean, he was nice. After that, he was trying to be friendly with me, obviously, because that's what all bullies do, right? But this Tank dude, like I said, I like him, but I just don't feel like doing the small talk, because everybody knows I'm that weird guy that's different, that didn't smoke like everybody else, that didn't do the drug, didn't smoke weed. They know that and so I humble myself when I get around people to some extent. I kind of, you know, because I know, what I'm saying is I don't act too cocky around them, because I know low key that they know that I didn't smoke the weed, and if I were to be more of myself and act more confident around them, it could cause friction. And it's not that I'm afraid. I just demonstrated. I just told you I was willing to fight the bouncer named Tank, okay? And he backed down, okay? So they know that I'm also willing to fight. So it's not like I'm actually weak, but I just, so what I'm saying is I don't mind friction at the right time. I mean, when it's appropriate and at the right time. But I also don't want to deliberately be trying to fight people or I deliberately just don't. That's not what I meant to say. I deliberately just don't want to be in a position where there's a potential for generating friction, or where I kind of lower my toughness. In a weird way, this is weird, okay? I'm a short dude. In a weird way, it's similar or sort of like how, like, you take like a, you know, like a big, like 6'3" guy, and he's like strong, and you know everybody respects him because like they perceive him as tough, and so he has to like soften himself to gain rapport with people so that they don't feel intimidated. I almost feel, as crazy as it sounds, I almost feel like I have to like kind of it's so crazy. I'm short. I'm a little guy, man. I'm a short dude, but it's almost like I have to be like the 6'3" guy who everybody feels intimidated by, and kind of like lower my. You get what I'm saying? It's so weird, man. It's crazy. I will tell y'all this. I'm gonna tell y'all this. The majority of people that look tough, they're not tough. You know, this is me being a short dude who grew up. And when I say I grew up fighting, it's not like I was like constantly fighting. Like, oh, I was always, the danger was always around the corner. But I mean, there were times where I could have gotten killed at least once. Right, but anyways, I'm gonna eyeball this, try to avoid him, because I need to get what I need to get done, and I think that my exit strategy is a working. So I think it worked. I think I dodged. I just don't want to be like. If you looked at that dude, you would think that dude was like, you'd look at him and be like, he reminds you of like one of those characters from like a movie where he's like the bouncer guy. Like, he looks like a character from a movie, you know what I mean? So I feel kind of. I feel kind of bad because this is literally me being antisocial. It's like, it's just somebody that I don't want to be around. And it's nothing personal. It's just, I'm not part of my culture. I never fit in with my culture, and I don't want to be part of it, you know? I really don't. Now, I came here to get some egg rolls, and they don't have any on sale, and the ones that are on sale don't. Anyways, my bad. But yeah, man, you guys, I just, it's kind of an odd you know, circumstance. It's odd. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But I could talk about another topic. Well, actually, I can get these mini chicken spring rolls. I think that'll work. That'll go with my food. So let me tell you something. Here we have a grocery store, and it's called Food Lion, right? And dang, he's still at the register. Anyways, for all y'all know, I could be lying. He could be like, I could be scared of him, and in reality, I'm just avoiding him because he has something against me, and I'm avoiding him because he said if he ever seen me again, he'd kick my ass. No, I'm just kidding. Again, I like him. I like him as a person. It's not my culture. It's like, in the same way, you know, just familiarity doesn't mean that you have things in common. You know what I mean? Just because you have familiarity, or like you grew up in the same neighborhood or around the same people, doesn't mean that you have to like. You can have a close acquaintance or a distant acquaintanceship, but it doesn't have to be like, you know, you don't have to be friends, you know, in that sense. But anyways, this grocery store, like, it has a fractile, like a copy paste fractile from, you know, adjacent to. Okay, so there's another store, you know, a couple miles down the road, closer to where my mother lives, and Jesus Christ. So anyways, at that store and at this store, they both have a tall black lady with the same type of hair, the same type of build, the body structure, and they look kind of similar, right? And so when I go to each store, she reminds me of they remind me of each other. And then also at this store, there's this short, skinny, dark-haired girl with glasses, and synchronicity. Right when I was saying that, the girl, not the same girl I'm talking about, but another girl with dark hair and glasses was walking right towards me. Oh Jesus. Anyways, at the not a worker here, but at this store there is a short girl who has maybe like the punk kind of look, and the dark hair and kind of like the edgy punk kind of style. And there's also another one just like it at the other store, the black lady, and then that girl. And then there's the other store. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. It's like both stores have fractals of the other store. It's pretty weird. Anyways, so, but I will, I'll touch back with y'all guys later after I get done. I'm acting like I'm talking on the phone, right? Anyways, but yeah, we'll see you in the next one.